Well, welcome to another edition of the Digicel Sports Show right here on Islandstats.com. I'm your host, Earl Baston, and joining me yet again is Jason Juggling J. Ford. Welcome, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
What's happening?
A little rain outside.
Just a little, man. Bermuda's blessed. We need the green. We need the grass green and the trees green, so we need the rain.
Any puddles?
Puddles. It all comes with it all comes with the territory.
You didn't mention about the puddles.
Well,
I'm just thinking like
lakes
this.
and streams.
I'm thinking like this. When it rains like this, hardly sports sort of take a back seat.
Yeah, but most of the sports.
For the safety aspect of our athletes, Earl.
Some sports love this type of weather.
Yeah, swimming.
Yeah, rugby. Yeah, sure. They like this type of weather.
Yeah.
So, there's other sports that can't play in this weather, but there are some sports that love this weather.
Okay.
But we're going to get to a lot of sports after this message from our sponsor.
You may have heard Digicel is bringing the only true fiber-to-the-home network to Bermuda. But what does that mean? Fiber to the home is the fastest and most reliable way to access the internet. And with Digicel's fiber internet, the fiber goes all the way into your house. It doesn't just stop at the street. That means you get consistently fast speeds you can rely on. Think of it as a brand new internet highway that goes all the way into your home or office, and you can be one of the first to enjoy it. Visit digicelbermuda.com/fiber to register your interest in Bermuda's only true fiber to the home network.
Jay, I have a surprise for you.
Okay.
No football this weekend.
Hmm?
Yeah, no football this weekend.
And the reasonings will be?
Well, one of the reasons I believe was there is a mix-up in the schedule. The BFA had this date open for International Week. Also, it came in line with the Bermuda School Sports Federation's All-Star matches. Now, let me finish.
Okay.
But what happened was the Sports Center eventually was double booked for this weekend coming up and asked the Bermuda School Sports Federation to move their date, which they brought it a week forward. Thus leaving this weekend open for it would have been those players that played Saturday would have not have,
which we talked about.
Right. So there's no football this weekend. Premier or First Division.
And you expect me to buy that?
No. How else would you?
I'm pretty sure somebody noticed this before this week.
Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't.
I mean,
I only found out today.
It just seemed like a slight oversight.
I only found out today. Maybe not. I don't know. But then here lies the problem. Well, yeah, it could have been two ways. The association could have moved games, but then if I'm a player or a coach or an organization, and I look at the schedule looking in January, and I know there's no games on that particular date, we might decide, let's go away. Or let's decide to do what we would normally do when there's no football on that day. It is what it is.
I mean, and that's what I say. It is what it is. I don't want. Sometimes I just play devil's advocate.
Oh yeah.
But like you said, sometimes when you are playing with when you have amateur sports, sometimes players will love a break.
Oh yeah.
So it's not to say that this break's probably not wanted. Teams like Robin Hood may need it.
Yes.
Timmy, please put a lot of ice on this week. But in saying that is that the more information prior, like I said, you could probably have. Go on a personal trip, or even for that matter of fact, you can probably have teams now probably doing some type of scrimmaging or some type of friendly.
It's more recovery now,
right.
So you have a 2-week break.
It's understandable for that aspect, especially with the teams that played during the holiday break. They would love the break, but look at those teams who just come off break. They hadn't really played.
This kind of, I guess. One of the teams that will want to continue to play is probably Dandy Town.
Yes.
They've come off for 2 hot weeks of football. And now to get a break. In amateur sports, it could really hurt you because people are used to a rhythm and so forth, intensity and so forth. But, it is what it is.
It is what it is. And I just hope and I just say this here because we looked at both sports with scheduling. When I'm talking about football and cricket, the overlapping fields getting ready.
Right.
I just hope it does not a detriment to the cricket start of the cricket season.
Right.
Due to one extra week fields being played on where they could have been finished.
Right. Right.
And being time to be prepared for the cricket season. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen. But like you said, if this was already put in place prior,
yeah. But actually, you know what? Let's look at the Premier Division games that will take place next week. Let's just have a little bit about the matchups, because it's going to be very interesting.
I was ready to talk about these matchups anyway.
Well, let me say this: on Saturday, next week Saturday, 3 p.m.
3 p.m.
PHC Zebras will host North Village Rams.
Where to?
At the PHC Stadium. Remember, each team in the Premier Division will play a game at 3 o'clock. So this is the PHC one.
And that's a big one.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you talked about it. I mean, we talked about it on the last show Tuesday. What would PHC do as far as rebounding after their first loss?
Well, they got a week to go through it, and the fact that they're playing home, albeit on a Saturday. What happens?
Yeah. North Village, just been inconsistent.
Yeah.
And you just don't know who's going to
Yeah.
And to say this, Earl, we haven't had the goalkeeper of the year have too many special outings like he had last year.
Right. But he probably still is considered a standout along with PHC's goalkeeper.
Which PHC goalkeeper? Because there's not just one there.
Goalkeepers.
Yeah. But no, you're absolutely right. And you look at it like that, but he really helped out North Village in that way last year, especially by winning the goalkeeper of the year. But in saying that, it's just been inconsistency. I mean, 1 minute, Keisha and those guys are banging the girls in. Next minute, please somebody, knock it in.
Get a deflection.
Yes. So, yes, we talked about rivalries. This has been a rivalry for many years. I know certain people out, aka Beverly, who knows? She's got a whole week and a half to run her mouth. Who knows if she'll be crying at the end of the game? But it's
tears of joy or tears of celebration. One or the other.
But it's gonna be interesting to see, not only with PAC still leading the league, but also having a week to prepare.
Right. Lick those wounds and come back.
Yeah.
Well, that Saturday night is an interesting matchup because it's one of the games we talked about in our last show that in order for one of these two teams to survive, they're going to have to beat the other team. And I'm talking Flanagan's Onions, who host Young Men's Social Club at BAA at 9 o'clock.
Well, let me just edit that last conversation, that last bit there. There's only one team that has a chance to survive.
Well, yes. Well, not necessarily. Mathematically, Social Club could still, Social Club could still survive.
Yes, okay, yes.
Mathematically, we got it in pencil.
Yeah.
We can soon put it in pen.
Rubber.
We can soon put it in. I tell you what, if they lose this match, we put it in marker because they will be relegated pretty much. I don't care how many math classes you go to, they will.
But Earl, I would tell you, just as we call dread as that could be, what would a draw do?
Pretty much seal both things. Yeah.
Both of them. If Flanagan's draw against Social Club, that's a wrap.
Yeah. For their confidence, it'll be a wrap.
Not mathematically.
Yeah.
But I can't. Like I said, for them to survive, they have to beat the Social Club.
Yeah. And then it'd be Crossroads and Somerset.
And probably Somerset.
Yeah. So it'll be all to play for that Saturday night. Be a lot. That will probably be
where will they game be?
BAA at 9 o'clock. Yeah. Then on Sunday, the Dendytown Hornets will look to continue their run when they host the Somerset Trojans.
But these two teams have had some interesting matchups this
Yes,
year.
they have. Hasn't been easy for either.
No.
Remember, Dendytown played Somerset at 3 o'clock on a Saturday up Somerset.
Yeah. That wasn't easy.
No. They came away, I think, 2-1.
Yeah.
Or 2-0, something like that.
It's gonna be once again. Somerset, you just don't know who you're gonna get.
Yeah.
It could be a close game. Some could probably nip them.
But you got to think about it to come up with a score.
But it's also it could be a blowout.
Well, yeah. I mean, Dandy Town right now are kicking on all cylinders, and that's the fair factor of this. With the week off, does it hurt or help them? We will see next week Sunday. That's for sure.
That game is at St. John's.
At St. John's, man. At St. John's.
It's gonna be hard for Trojans.
Well, then we go down Lords. The Boulevard Blazers and Crossroads.
I believe that's the game of the day.
For Sunday, yes.
For me, that would be if you guys want to see a battle, because both teams, even though they're not in the running for any titles, but Blazers and Crossroads will be looking. Still got one eye on Dalib.
Yeah.
Spot.
The final spot.
The final spot. And they will need to beat each other.
To have a look in at that.
Yeah. So that's still something to play for. But you just said it, momentum-wise, Blazers probably want this break.
Yeah.
To get some legs back.
The other thing is it gives them an opportunity to have a training session because it's a Sunday that they're off. And if they're smart, they'll use that Sunday to just get it together. Because they struggle to train because of the lighting situation.
Yes.
So you use Sunday as a way and means to get together in a non-competitive environment and work on some things that are falling short on. You can't work on fitness. That don't even. It's the technical stuff that they need to work on that they're falling down in games that would give up a 2-goal lead. You know what I mean? And you're not going to get fit on Sunday. So you might as well just work on the technical things that if we get a lead, how do we shape up? How do we do this? How do we do that? When we get free kicks or when we get corners, how do we set up? Or corners against us, how do we... Those are the things that they need to work on Sunday that could possibly help them come next Sunday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And vice versa. Crossroads, they probably didn't want this break.
Right. They're coming off of 2 good weeks too. So, you know...
Be interesting how they set up against Boulevard because they are playing free. But in saying that, Lords,
big field,
sort of neutralize.
Yeah, and
because you mentioned that word fitness.
Crossroads are fit.
Yeah.
Well, they're fitter than Boulevard.
Well, that's my point. So it can be. I believe this will probably be one of the closer matchups on the weekend.
Right. Well,
even though this next one is a very interesting because we got Robin Hood versus Derbyshire Cougars.
Right.
And the state of Robin Hood right now, I'm pretty sure everybody's looking at each other and saying, okay, what can we do? I know we're trying to patch up that hill, patch up that hill.
But this week allows that polygrip.
Yes, to stick.
Yeah. Because it gives the goalkeeper Jason Simons an extra week. I don't know how bad his injury is, and all those niggling injuries that they have. It gives them an extra time to get back and try to make something out of this season.
Like you said, I think they need this for more. Like it's just very similar to just to work out some things. If these players are not back, how do we do?
How do we shape up? How do we? Who could fill in? Let's try them in a training session. Let's do this. And we're not racing through a training session because if you look at it, if you on Tuesdays or whatever day, the first day they train of the week, it's more of a recovery session. The next one is preparing for the next game. So this week here, if you could possibly get in a training session on Sunday, it allows you to look at other players in other positions and see if they fit well together, gel together, even if it's just for a short term. But you're going to need this period of time to make those adjustments and not in game situations.
And I also think that will also help the Derbyshire Cougars too. Remember, they had a couple of players that came in and they transferred. So, and then, get more time they have around these players. But and also they had a couple of injuries too.
Yeah.
I want to say Moses.
He's back out. He played
back.
on Sunday.
Right. So I'm glad he's back because they need him.
Yeah, he brings a different dynamic to the team. Him and I think Jawande Smith.
Yeah.
Those two together, two intelligent players, can if given the time and the space, could pull any team apart. Yeah. So.
And that's been the thing even with our fitness because, like I said, if teams don't give them the time and space, they normally have the upper hand, especially in the midfield.
Right.
You may have heard Digicel is bringing the only true fiber to the home network to Bermuda. But what does that mean? Fiber to the home is the fastest and most reliable way to access the internet. And with Digicel's fiber internet, the fiber goes all the way into your house. It doesn't just stop at the street. That means you get consistently fast speeds you can rely on. Think of it as a brand new internet highway that goes all the way into your home or office, and you can be one of the first to enjoy it. Visit digicelbermuda.com/fiber to register your interest in Bermuda's only true fiber to the home network.
Now, the fact that there's no football,
we can draw all our attention now to
a whole host of other sports over the weekend. It brings into the spotlight Bernard Park on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's going to be a game at BA, but with Bernard Park, it's nice to see the new paint.
Oh yeah,
on the courts.
They've done some good work at Bernard Park too.
And please do not mess it up, whoever you are.
Yeah, the netball season is well underway.
Yes.
The youth are back in full swing. The seniors are back in full swing. It's a long day for them, but it's a good day for them. You get if you go early, 1 o'clock I believe, you get to see the youngsters under 12s play, and then it's the under 14s, under 16s, and then right into the senior program. So it's a full day of interesting netball from the youngsters who everybody. It's just like youth football. Wherever the ball is, it's a cluster of hands up and you got the coaches and the parents on the sideline. Somebody find space. Somebody find space, and space is the ball. That's what they're finding, the ball. But they should really get some highlights this weekend. From pretty much everybody. I go there weekly, and
you know what? I got a task for you this week when you travel down to Bernard Park, and just find out just what's going on as far as international team. What's the next event they should be going? Looking at what age group.
Yeah, I believe it's going to be the under 16s, but I can find it out.
Yeah, just see where they are, because obviously with these players are playing in the league, you want to see how they are progressing, or is any new faces coming through. I know made your job just a slight bit harder.
Yeah. Also on Saturday at the National Sports Center is a track meet.
Okay.
Another Carifta qualifier.
Yeah, I was going to say Carifta qualifier. So we're almost winding down. Hold on.
Carifta's in April?
April, yeah.
Or March or April.
Time, right?
Yeah.
Easter. So it'll be,
March or April.
End of March.
So we'll see how these...
When is the last qualifying?
I'm not 100% sure. They go up, I believe, speaking of Donna, I think it's next weekend or the end of February. I'm not 100% sure. I'll find that out as well. But there were 3 that were very, very close on Sunday to making the qualifying mark in the 3,000 meters. We had 2 that qualified this past weekend. So, it's all there. Sunday was the perfect day if anybody wanted to qualify.
See, and that's what why was it perfect day? I'm just seeing if we're going
the conditions.
Okay, stop right there. And that's what. Where's the Carifta being located this year?
It's in Bahamas again.
Okay. So today is raining. There's a cold front coming through, and it's saying that there's going to be some pretty cool conditions between Friday and the weekend. And you mentioned last weekend you had 70 degrees, 72 degrees weather. This weekend you're probably going to drop down to probably about 62, 63, and very damp. When you're saying conditions and you're going to go to Bahamas, which is going to be closer to 80. Mm-hmm. Humidity will be pretty similar, pretty high. How would this weekend, would it hurt?
I think it hurts. I think it hurts the individual because of, well, conditions is one thing, surface is another. Mm-hmm. If it's wet, the jumpers are not going to be able to jump as well as they would like to. I don't care running on a wet track, running on a dry track. It's two different things. Wet track, obviously, if you're wet, your clothes are gonna get heavier. Your legs get heavier. If it's cold, you're thinking so many other things other than doing what would come normal. Last weekend, I'll go back to it. The sun was out. There was a little chill in the air. There weren't much breeze, and so what we usually get on the track is one way or the other you're gonna face a headwind, and usually on the back stretch. That was, if it was so minor that I guarantee you the runners never felt it. Never felt it. But opportunities lost by those that did not compete.
Who are you looking for this week to?
Well, obviously Ryan Otterbridge, Ian Pilgrim, what's his name? Quincy Kuzak. There's a possibility of a few females making it as well. It's the door's open. It's open. So we just need those performers to come out and perform.
No, I'm just tickling my mind a bit, going back a bit, and I remember the president at the time. Well, she still is the president, but it was in reference to the team that we're going to take. Mm-hmm. And I got the sense at the time that it's not just about taking athletes who just qualify.
They want consistency.
Yeah.
Right.
They even though you may qualify, that doesn't mean you're actually going. Is that still?
That is still the case. So what they're doing now, and they've done it last night, everyone that is qualified then comes into the national program setup. Right. So those people on one day of the week come and train with the national coaches. And the national coach's job is to make sure that they maintain that, take it back to their club and they train with their club. Their job is to make sure that they give them all the information to make sure that they maintain, if it's a jump, you maintain the jump. If it's a race, you maintain that time. If it's a throw, you maintain that throwing ability. So they're getting that once they make it to ensure. And then what they do is they wait to see how they compete the next time around. And if their time is that much off, then it shows that, look, this person can be consistent, although they've made the time.
So even in saying that, for the athletes who haven't qualified yet, even though you may qualify late because Carifta is the end of March,
right?
There's still no guarantee that you'll be going to Carifta because
of. But let me just help out a little bit. Say you're a runner, and the time is 4:02 for whatever race it could be, but you're running 3:59 one week, 4:01 another week, 3:59. And then you hit that 4:02.
Right.
They will take you because you're consistently in the area.
Okay.
If you're 3:55, 3:54, 3:58, 3:55, and then up to the 4:02, it's not going to look favorable because you're not consistent close enough to that mark. You know what I mean?
Now, these are just the questions. And is our qualifying times in line with the qualifying time for Carifta, or do we have a higher? In
some instances, they are a little steep, and in others, they match the qualifying times put out by whatever competition that they have out there. I know in track and field, they try to raise the bar.
Right.
Swimming, they try to raise the bar, just to make sure that. See, we're getting to a point now that we just don't want to participate anymore. So we want to go into finals. We want to be on the podium. So I think the organizers of the officials of these organizations are saying, look, we're putting pressure on you here. So when we get there, it becomes easy.
Right.
So, if you look at it, the Carifta, the Commonwealth Games standard for swimming are the qualifying times for Rio Olympics.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's pressure in itself. Track and field, they are pushing, that they want our athletes to be pushed as much as they can, knowing when they get there, the qualifying time, if you run that standard time, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get through to the next round.
And I brought this up because, we just heard in the NBA about All-Stars being snubbed. And sometimes if you actually make a team and then you don't go, you're going to feel snubbed or slighted. And sometimes getting this information out, you understand it. You might not like it.
Right.
But at least you can understand.
Yeah.
And it's on record. It's not like it's just been in pockets.
Right.
We've heard the president actually state this. So I just want to reiterate it because I was like, hold on, this. I remember her saying this, and like I said, we're not okay now with just competing.
Right.
We
Yeah.
want to, and in saying that, it's bode well for our swimmers over the last few careers.
Right.
Because we've walked away with some medals.
Yeah.
Especially within our swimming, I think they've been our most celebrated or decorated career athletes.
Right.
So hopefully, I think, and this will be the last year for Zakari.
No. Zakari's got years.
Oh.
Remember, this will be her 4th Carifta.
Yeah.
She went in as a 14-year-old.
Oh, right. You see.
Yeah.
Keep forgetting how young she is.
Yeah, she went in the under 17s, won a medal. Next year, won a medal. Last year, won a medal.
Zakari.
Well, also on Saturday morning, at the Bassett Pool, it's the first best of the best swim meet. And it is their final time to make the Carifta standard as well. They will have a whole bunch of swimmers. They have right now, I believe, 11 to 13 swimmers who have met the qualifying standard. They're swimming very well, and it will be the final opportunity for anyone on the fringe to make that team.
And do they do the similar thing to track and field where they'll go into a special program after this?
The minute the team is selected, they spend day in, day out with the national program set up, and they're getting specific training to make sure that when they get to that meet, they are in the best condition that they could possibly be in and ready to fire on all cylinders.
And it's good when we have that because now, these clubs or who doesn't have all the resources that the national program will have, rather than be just down to massages and things of that nature. We're looking to have all of those resources pooled together for these athletes to give them the best chance.
Right.
You may have heard Digicel is bringing the only true fiber to the home network to Bermuda. But what does that mean? Fiber to the home is the fastest and most reliable way to access the internet. And with Digicel's fiber internet, the fiber goes all the way into your house. It doesn't just stop at the street. That means you'll get consistently fast speeds you can rely on. Think of it as a brand new internet highway that goes all the way into your home or office, and you can be one of the first to enjoy it. Visit digicelbermuda.com/fiber to register your interest in Bermuda's only true fiber to the home network.
Well, also over the weekend, it's going to be harness pony racing, boy.
Rainbow shine too?
Giddy up, yeah. As long as there's no puddles, and with the new track, it's probably best. Well, they wet it on a dry day, so a little rain and with it sloped.
Don't expect too much dust there.
No dust. But with rain and the way it's sloped, there's not many puddles because it slopes all into the infield. So as long as no puddles right on the edge, they'll. I was going to say they'll sail. Well, they'll fly around the track. Yeah. So. That's another event that they are very consistent in their races.
Question for you.
Boy.
See, you gave me a little surprise. I know why I came up with these things today. So we've heard so many stories now with some of the young ponies who have been quite successful around the track. And they all seem to be coming from a certain area in the United States. No, United States has 50 states, but they all seem to be coming out of one particular state.
You know why?
I'm just asking.
Everybody goes to that one shop.
I know. So I wanted you to say. I'm talking about Indiana.
Yeah, everybody goes to what it is. It's also a breeding ground.
Yes, yes.
So when they find a pony that is one of the quickest, horses.
They want to follow the bloodline.
Right, horses have that history of if the mother or father was fast, guaranteed that horse.
So I gotta blame your daddy then.
Well, somebody. Somebody.
I'm not blaming your mom. That's what I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. That's not gonna happen. Mom's, I love you, but I am not blaming your mom. You ain't get me say that.
Well, it is what it is, brother. But that, I mean, if you look at even horse jumping, they look for breed.
Yes, yes.
They and one would tell you, if a horse has been to the Olympics, the minute that horse is finished, somebody's paying for that horse to breed.
Yeah.
And right after that horse bred could possibly get you the next Olympian. And 9 times out of 10, it nets the owner a whole lot of money just to breed them. Yeah. So
there's a lot of big money in there.
Oh.
A lot of big money.
And I learned that by going to these big events, and you start seeing negotiating going on right there in front of you. You're saying, what they talking about? And then you start asking questions. And, I always want to say a good shout out to my good friend Heidi Mello. Yeah. She's a wealth of knowledge when it comes to horse jumping, horse breeding, and all the. She is one. If I ask her a question, she'll give me that answer. And 20 other answers to questions I haven't even asked or thought about. But that information, I'm able to digest it and understand it. So now when someone asks me a question, I can speak in confidence about what I've been told by a very reliable source, and I know I'm giving the correct information. So.
Now, I'll tell you, I've had a conversation with Patrick Nisbet about that because of him training horses.
Right.
And in saying that, to do the horse or the owner justice, it goes into all the background work he has to do before he gets to the horse.
Right.
Of the family traits. So that he knows what the temperaments of what the mother and the father is like. Right. So
he knows if he's got a crazy horse,
right.
a mild-mannered horse,
exactly,
or a horse that would just get up and do whatever you want him to do. So yeah.
And I was like, man, he says, I'm almost going to be a horse psychologist. Before I meet the horse, because I got to do so many different things. Some horses want me to be up close, some don't want me to be too close. Right. And it says you got to learn so much because you're trying to get the best out of the horse.
And it's funny because some horses don't like big crowds.
Yeah.
So you almost have to take the horse in an area before they get to a big stage competition and walk them into an environment where there's a lot of noise, and you take that element out. Now, I'll go back to the PMM Games in 2015 in Toronto. Patrick Nisbet's horse will not walk frontwards into the ring. He literally had to turn the horse around every time he entered the ring and back the horse in. And once he got in, turned around, done his little bucking, and went on about his business. But he would not walk forward into the ring. And I asked Patrick, what's the deal? He says, well, it was windy, and the flags on the side were scaring him. So he had to just get in where and the gate is narrow. So he's hearing that noise, and he looks at this narrow gate. He's saying, I ain't getting there. So he turns him around where he's not now looking at the narrow gate. He backs him in. Once the horse sees all this playing field, he goes on about his business.
And why didn't you bring that story back when you came?
I have video. I've been talking about that for years, man. It's been 3 years now.
And the first time I heard this story.
No. First you remember hearing the story.
Yeah, I am getting a little.
Yeah.
I need to shoot this horse.
We got a barn around the corner, you know. Well, also on this weekend, starting Friday night, and then on Saturday, Corona League football.
It's been a bit quiet this year.
They have had their challenges.
Yeah.
Their matches have been going on, but it's a league.
Well, I ask you then, is Tough Dogs or who's on the top of the table? Let me ask you.
Western
Western
United
United?
are top of the table. They are the defending league champions. They have found some consistency again. But they can expect some challenges along the way. Tough Dogs ain't that tough anymore.
Okay, Earl said it.
Vasco's struggling. You got 40 Kings. They're doing well.
There's a lot of players from Devonshire Coast.
Yeah,
Ex-Devonshire
yeah,
Coast, right?
yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, it's an interesting league. It's in between Sunday First Division and Masters.
Well, what I've noticed, unlike the Masters, Masters are nice.
Comedy.
It's outing. But you find a lot of Premier Division teams or even First Division teams use this Corona League as their picking grounds. And they're looking to add a player or two throughout the year. They normally draw from one of these Corona League teams.
Right.
And saying that's where you're going to probably have some of the inconsistency as you just talked about. The unfortunate part is a lot of these guys who are playing Corona, one of their mandates is we ain't got to train.
Yeah.
So I hope you're not expecting me to come and play and train. I just like to just play.
I mean, you got enough Bengay in the cupboard for a Saturday.
Yeah. So I'm saying that you're always going to have those matchups, but to have a full 90-minute.
Ain't going to happen. Not going to happen. But this weekend, we'll see the Motorsports Expo as well. Saturday and Sunday, Southside Motorsports Park. Saturday is open house. Sunday, you got a bit of racing. So, folks, if you're not busy Saturday and Sunday, which is no football, so go down to Southside, be entertained, get a look and a feel of motorbikes, motocross, karting, and the power boats will be on display.
And they have expressed the whole sentiment behind this. If you're going to speed, let's do it on the track or do it in a track atmosphere. So, folks, go down there if you love that speed. You love to hear the engine roaring, smelling the oil, smelling the gas. Southside, it's the place to be.
Place to be. Well, 2 big events will take place behind closed doors over the next few days.
Okay.
And that will be revealed in the coming, well, actually 3. Tomorrow we'll see the announcement of the national cricket team.
Are you sure?
I've been guaranteed. I've been guaranteed.
Yeah, we've been waiting for this. And
it was supposed to be Tuesday, but some administrative issues arose, and they've put it off until tomorrow. So we'll be looking forward to that particular team being announced, and obviously on Tuesday we'll be talking about that and breaking down the team and the players and what their roles will possibly be. We'll get a chance to speak with the coach and anybody that's there come tomorrow. So we'll have that. The next one is the Bermuda Olympic Association will be announcing the Winter Olympic team in the coming days.
Wow.
So
1, 2.
The Bermuda Olympic Association will be announcing the Winter Olympic team in the coming days. Not sure what day. It could be
Murphy and the short there.
It could be tomorrow. It could be Monday.
It ain't like a whole squad.
You might get a surprise.
Also, before we leave, and I know I've been waiting to come and talk to you about it because I didn't even call you last night or yesterday. Upon hearing the news of the new CONCACAF nations, with now I believe the Caribbean Cup
going.
I've heard pundits on the other side. Now, what would it do for the actual improvement of football? But I wanted to get your take on it. What this new CONCACAF Nations League would be, and what it would do for Bermuda.
It actually helps Bermuda a lot, and I'll tell you why.
Compared to what was there. That's
Right.
what I'm saying.
I'll tell you why. Because this is now run by the region head. The Caribbean Cup was run by the CFU, which didn't have a lot of funding. So a lot of the games was on the association's shoulders to go and play them. And that's why only certain teams in certain years would play in those matches. Now, following the European Nations Cup, CONCACAF have come up with a Nations Cup. FIFA will be putting in a lot of money to ensure that places like Bermuda, who struggle because of the dynamics of where we are, get the opportunity, equal opportunity, as places that are close in proximity in region of each other. So whatever group we're in, it allows us that many more games every year. So what we're having this weekend, that calendar where we don't have games, those calendar weekends where FIFA breaks or whatever, they will be full.
Yeah, that was the main benefit I saw coming out of this, and it's good to see that sometimes when you hear a new president or a new administration come in, and we've heard this before that the wealth will be spread. Mind, we did see with the last president too.
Yeah.
He did put some money into the region, amongst all the other stuff you may hear about it. But this region can say thank you. This president has said he was going to continue and look to even enhance it even more. Obviously, you can get the bigger nations who can cry.
Right.
And reasoning why, because as we know, most of this money that the FIFA does get is built off of television rights. Now, when you don't have the top teams on television, then you're almost watering down the so-called product of the television.
Right.
Not as far as the countries are concerned. The minnows of the countries, they get to play this, that, and the other.
Right.
But for actual product, for TV, it doesn't look that great.
Right.
Compared to a standard,
Yeah.
you had the top 3 or 4 teams in the region.
But this actually allows this. And I know they're looking 20 years down. They're looking at the next 4 World Cups. In the next 4 World Cups, or 4 World Cups from now, right? This tournament here will possibly get a team to Springboks that wouldn't normally, or country that wouldn't normally get to there, a chance to get there, because the level of play will increase for them over the years that they will get that familiarity in international play.
I'm just wondering, because for FIFA to do these things, they need that money.
Yeah.
So I'm just hoping this works both ways, because obviously if FIFA starts to lose money,
which I doubt they will, because the World Cup is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, outside of the Olympics.
Yes.
The biggest commercialized event.
No, but in saying that, we've heard that they also want to expand
to 46 teams. But now, look what happens.
Yeah.
The more teams you have, the more companies that want to be involved and attach themselves to it.
And I'm just going to go back to FIFA. They want to stick with the mandate of spreading football across the globe. So
they want more involvement. They want more.
Every corner of this earth, they want to make sure that football is not only played, but supported and funded.
Well, actually, you know what? Because we're talking about this, let's hear the president, Gianni Infantino, explain just that.
Good morning.
You recently had talks with the executive about the development of football, women, and youth. Can you share what, on the European side, can you share what some of that was like as opposed to what you'll find out in the Caribbean?
Well, differences are not that big actually. Of course, if you compare Bermuda with big football nations who have millions or even billions of inhabitants, as is the case in some countries, like China, who is now investing a lot in football as well, but even the historic countries, England, Germany, Italy, Spain, and so on and so forth. Of course, you cannot compare what is done there. But even in Europe, we can see that there are countries which are of a similar size as Bermuda, smaller countries. Iceland, to just give one example, the obvious example, obviously, these last few years, which is a country who is a little bit bigger than Bermuda, 300,000 people, but they qualified for the Euro and they performed quite well in the Euro, and now they qualified as well for the World Cup, kicking out a country like Turkey of 80 million inhabitants, and finishing first in a group with Croatia, who is certainly one of the strongest European teams. So when it comes to the performance of the top level, of course there is work to be done, but there are possibilities because it starts from the grassroots and from the youth. And for this reason we were discussing about the situation in Bermuda in terms of football infrastructures, in terms of pitches, because what we need for the boys and girls to play football is mainly pitches, and then of course equipment and staff to be with them. Now the expertise is certainly here, the equipment we bring it, and for the infrastructure we work on together, and also together with the government. So you will certainly see in the near future more beautiful football pitches in Bermuda, where the talent, boys and girls, can grow and prosper, and we will see. Next World Cup, maybe?
Maybe.
Maybe.
When you decided to become the president, what was your aim and focus in redeveloping or redesigning the whole structure of FIFA? Because it wasn't turmoil when you first took over.
It was a turmoil. I think that's quite a diplomatic way to put it. One could use other terms, indeed. But let's stick to turmoil for the moment, because anyway, you know, the past is the past, and we have to make things obviously better than what happened in the past. And for me, it was very clear from the very beginning, when I started even to be candidate to become FIFA president, the key was and is to bring football back to FIFA and FIFA back to football. I think that maybe it was a little bit forgotten what the main mission of FIFA was and should have been, which is to develop football and to organize football all over the world. We are a football organization. Our mission is to do exactly that, and we shouldn't, you know, lose our heads in trying to do other things, which then end up in being maybe some dodgy affairs as well. We should focus on the football. We have to bring in the football legends, for example, to help us in spreading out this message. We have to invest, and it's one of the first steps that we put in place after my election, to increase significantly the funds available for investment in football development, in infrastructure, in courses. And as a matter of fact, we increased this amount from $400 million to $1.4 billion. So 1 billion more over the same period of time for which the budget was made. So we can already see now, I think, the concrete results of these investments, which is exactly what we have to do in terms of football development, but then in terms as well of the image and reputation of FIFA, which was the other key factor that we had to make much better through the reforms that we have put in place.
You may have heard Digicel is bringing the only true fiber to the home network to Bermuda. But what does that mean? Fiber to the home is the fastest and most reliable way to access the internet. And with Digicel's fiber internet, the fiber goes all the way into your house. It doesn't just stop at the street. That means you get consistently fast speeds you can rely on. Think of it as a brand new internet highway that goes all the way into your home or office, and you can be one of the first to enjoy it. Visit digicelbermuda.com/fiber to register your interest in Bermuda's only true fiber to the home network.
Well, I mean, he said it. He wants it spread around. That's what you just said. That's what the man said when he was in Bermuda. Mm-hmm. The more countries that are involved, the better it is for football itself.
And like I said, when I started it all, it's good to hear when a president or a new administration comes in, they say these feels like false promises that he's attacked it, and it's coming to fruition probably sooner than
yeah.
a lot of folks thought. But he's putting his money where his mouth is. So it's good to know that football is looking to expand, and it's going to be interesting because when you start looking at football, just with the organization, how successful it is around the world, do you know all the other sports look at that as a template?
Yeah, they do.
So don't be surprised if you see another major sport doing something very, very similar.
Well, I don't know if you've heard the rumor mill, but cricket is looking at a
Yes.
10-10.
Yes. And that's, I was waiting for more information to come out about it. The difference is with cricket and, or let's say the ICC and FIFA, it's the money.
Yeah.
FIFA is obviously a lot more money.
Yeah.
So ICC will have more challenges, but that's not to say they can't have the same template.
Right. And then the final big behind closed door event this weekend for sports related is the committee of the sports awards will deliberate on Saturday morning.
And that's you.
Yeah, I'm one of those people.
That's you, buddy.
So I'll be busy Saturday morning. Don't call me.
Don't call you?
Don't call me. And don't ask me Saturday afternoon. It will not be, the winners will not be revealed until March 27th at the Fairmont Southampton.
Do not mess up my girl's vote, okay? The girl's nomination.
You put it in?
Of course. Well, not really. But
Oh, okay. All right.
somebody better put it in.
I know what you're talking about.
Florida, don't play with me.
I don't know what you're talking about.
If Philadelphia don't win, that's it. I quit.
If somebody did not, if no one nominated Philadelphia, it ain't no way the committee, the committee cannot.
I'm not worried about somebody's. Her cousin's done that.
I hope you
Not
know
even
what you're talking about. I hope you know what you're talking about. I've looked at the book and I've been doing my homework.
Let me tell you.
And to tell you the truth, it's a
quit.
little disappointing, but it is what it is.
I will quit.
It is what it is. With that, folks, have a good night from the Digicel Sports Show.